A billionaire investor says 10% inflation is on its way. We're going to take a look at why gold, copper, and silver may be going higher and why that's going to happen. So stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. This is Richard with Wisdom Investor. A billionaire investor is saying that he's predicting inflation to go up to 10%. And if you look at what's going on around us right now, we see massive gains in real estate prices right now. We see tech stocks moving up as much as 1,000%. The Fed continues to juice the market. Interest rates are low, and also we're seeing the dollar fall. So we're going to look at reasons this gold, copper, silver may be a good choice for you. Stanley Druckenmiller here, a very successful hedge fund manager, is worried about inflation. Says it could hit 10% in the coming years. Druckenmiller goes on to say down at the bottom, he says that the central bank's new willingness to let inflation run hot posed a risk to price stability. For the first time in a long time, I'm actually worried about inflation. Now, one of those byproducts of inflation is gold moving higher. Here's a quote with Daniel Pavilion, senior market strategist at RJO Futures. He says that the threat of rising inflation and the Federal Reserve's new monetary policy stance to target average inflation of 2% will keep real interest rates lower and support gold and silver prices in the long term. In addition to inflation causing gold to go higher, also when they lower the interest rates, it's caused the dollar to move lower. Now the dollar's based out here just a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit of an upswing in the dollar, but we got an upswing back in June that eventually faded out. So as the dollar was moving lower, we had gold prices moving higher. September 11th, the Fed will be releasing the new information on core CPI and also the consumer price index. So we're sure to get some type of reaction in the markets next week when we get this news. So we're going to look at some investments here, possibilities here for the future if inflation continues to move higher. We're going to look at copper, silver, and gold stocks. Here's the continuous contract for copper. You can see copper continues to move higher. Typically, that's good for the economy when copper's going higher. We're going to look at some of the top stocks that invest in copper. We're looking at Freeport-McMoRan, symbols FCX. This is still continues to move on the upside. Now personally, I would like to see some type of a pullback before I bought this stock, much like it did back here in July, and then take advantage of it as it moves higher. We'll just have to see if that happens. Rio Tinto, symbols RIO, another good stock. It's currently dipped a little bit, tried to gap up, but it looks like it may want to move back down here. Rio Tinto had this shooting star candlestick pattern, so typically this indicates it may want to move lower. Also, the Global X Copper Miners Fund is excellent, COPX. Let's take a look at silver, SLV, iShares Silver Trust. You can see it's had a nice surge to the upside, and since maybe for the last month or so, it's pretty much been going flat. It could be a good time to start acquiring silver if a person thinks the silver is going to continue higher. I think any good dip here in this down to around 22 would be excellent buying opportunities. Keep in mind, you want to buy these before they take off. Then it's usually too late. Let's look at the chart on gold itself. It's holding at 1954. Starts breaking out, say over 1975, 2000. It could push up to about 2200. Again, best time to buy this is when it's basing out. Now, drop below, say 1920 would be pretty negative, but it would lead to a better buying opportunity down below. If the dollar starts to move higher, we could see the gold drop a little bit. But again, want to catch it at the low side here. Technical indicators are moving down. This is on the MACD here. So I don't see a buying opportunity here right now, but we don't want to fall asleep on this. If you did want to buy physical gold and you wanted to buy gold shares, the GLD, Spider Gold shares, is your best bet on that. Right now we're holding between resistance and support. Again, if we break up over 185 on GLD here, I think that would be real positive here. A break below 180 would lead us to a lower buying opportunity. Looking at our technical indicators, very much like the gold, we need to see this start to move higher. But there is some signs here that looks like it may want to go higher. If we look at this stochastic here, we see on this last dip, it didn't go quite as deep. That's a positive divergence here, so that could be a sign this GLD may want to move higher soon. Now, when we talk about gold, we've got the elections coming up here, so we could go sideways until we get more information from the election. Let's look at the GDX gold miners. We're looking at the GDX gold miners index. Again, pretty much going sideways after peaking up here at 46.78. It's around 42. We have broken above resistance on trading today on this. Now, every time this wants to drop down, we get some accumulation by investors wanting to buy gold. Let's look at some of the top stocks here in this GDX. We've got Newmont Mining, again, kind of hanging out between resistance and support here. This would be a good stock to pick up. We're looking at Barrick Gold. We heard about Warren Buffett buying this. Now, we heard about that back here around the first part of August. Keep in mind, he didn't just buy it on the 1st of August. He had been accumulating it over the period of time. Then eventually they have to release what they own, and that's when it becomes known. But Warren Buffett's buying when things are usually on the downside and then waiting for an opportunity to the upside. Franco-Nevada, FNV, is another good stock to keep your eye on. It came down, dropped down here, it's basing out, and there's some accumulation starting to appear in Franco-Nevada. Wheaton Precious Metals has been up about 58%. Looks a lot like the other stocks. This is another great stock to buy. Also, Agnico Eagle Mines, AEM, still hovering right at the top, looking for a breakout opportunity. Now, we're also looking at the GDXJ. Now, GDXJ, these are stocks. This is actually an index of stocks, but this index is full of stocks that are in the exploration of gold. So this is another option here when looking at buying gold. Now, if you're looking at just a commodity fund, an index for commodities in general, the Invesco DBC Commodity Index. Now, it has dropped off the top, but again, this can lead to a buying opportunity. We're looking at GOAU. It's the Global Gold and Precious Metal Miners ETF. This consists of other stocks. Now, this one has done pretty well also. Let's take a look at the makeup of this, or the top weighted stock on this is Wheaton Precious Metals, holding 10.79. Wheaton is up 82%. I said earlier 58. It's actually up 82%. Franco-Nevada up 51% this year. Royal Gold is pretty much flat. Harmony Gold Mining up 69%. So this is the makeup, at least the top 10 stocks of this GOAU. Right now, gold is pretty much going sideways, so we don't want to fall asleep on this. If you want to buy gold, you got to start thinking about it before it actually goes up. So I hope you enjoy the video. Leave comments. If you got your own favorite gold stock or fund, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.